My lovers, welcome to my channel. Today we are diving deep into your person's regrets about you and the connection. What do they wish they had done differently? And then we're going to look at some 3D messages for them. What do they want you to know? And what does their higher self want you to know for your own highest good? And then we're going to get some advice from Spirit. In the extended, if there's a third party connected to your connection, we're going to look at what's your person's regrets with regard to that connection. Okay. So what do we have here? Slot murderer. The slot and the murderer. I think I did a reading and this came out. Let me give it a nice shuffle again. I did a reading for someone yesterday and those two cards came out. So I probably didn't put them the right side up. Okay. All right. What do we have here? We have the nymph. And I think this is how your person sees you. They see you as someone who is open, someone who is free-spirited. Certainly you're very sensual, perhaps very sexual, but at the same time there is an innocence about you that never leaves, no matter what you go through in life. And maybe you've been through some really harsh circumstances, just like the lotus flower. You rise out of the muck smelling like a rose, looking like a rose. Okay? The harsh realities of life never touch your inner core, and you never lose a sense of who you are. And this is something that they really admire about you. Some people go through pain and trauma, and it's not to judge other people, and they can get really warped and twisted by what happened to them because they're human. But you have this superhuman, well, it could be an outlook on life too, where you're not going to let anything or anyone warp or change who you are. Okay? Whatever changes happen is because of your growth, your evolution. Okay. How do they feel generally? They feel like a slave. Okay. So there's an element. So this is in stark contrast to how they see you. Remember, they see you as free spirited. You're out there in the woods in the open, you're skinny dipping, whatever it is. And they feel trapped. So wherever they are, they feel like the walls are closing in and that like they're captured. For some of them, they're probably incarcerated or in some sort of institution. Maybe it could be rehab, it could be in a psych ward, wherever they need to be at this point in time. Okay, so they could feel like they're trapped there. For some of them, there's definitely an element here of addiction, right? A slave to something. They can't break free from whatever it is, and could be a trauma bond too, right? It could be family members, enmeshed with family members, enmeshed with somebody else, a third party, a romantic third party, or even a friendship that's keeping them down. But they feel like this is not what they're meant to be doing. This is not where they're meant to be. But they feel locked in. So we're gonna pull some cards on that and really narrow it down. Their energy towards you. So generally, there's a codependent energy. But when it comes towards you, I want you to look at these two cards. If ever there was a contrast, it would be these two cards. How they feel generally in their life right now, and then how they feel about you and this connection. Look at the optimism. Look how heightened spiritual vibration. We have here a Pegasus. And if it's one thing that can, you know, symbolize freeness, it's about flying, right? About flying. Even the clothing this person has on there, it's free flowing. So when they think about you, they think about freedom. And when they're with you, they feel free. They feel free to be themselves. They feel like there's some sort of burden that's lifted. Okay? It's a higher vibration that they feel when they're with you or when they think about you. So let's get deeper into these two cards and see what needs to come through here for your understanding and your highest good. So everywhere in their life they feel bogged down except when it comes to this connection. Okay? We are the Two of Pentacles. It's almost like they're living two lives. There's a life that they have when they connect with you, and then there's this other life that they have, and they keep juggling both of them. What do I choose? What do I choose? What do I choose? So it's almost and I'm not talking clinically, but like a kind of bipolar personality. Okay, they're living two lives. All right, let's see the slave card. We have here the magician in reverse. Okay, so now for some of you guys that are watching this, your person, there's a strong possibility that they're under some sort of manipulation or domination spell right now. And the domination spell comes through with this slave card. So if you've been getting the intuitive hit that somebody is doing some sort of shadow work or something on your person, so this is the confirmation. Because the magician in reverse is the shadow magician, right? Because we're all capable of magic. We're magical, right? We're all capable of magic. But a shadow magician is someone who wields that magic not for their highest good, not for anybody else's highest good. Okay, so we have a shadow magician coming up here. Now, the magician in reverse can also represent a manipulative personality. So there could be someone that's also influencing or dominating your person to the point where they're not able to make decisions for themselves. So it feels like if this is a partner, this is a heavily abusive relationship, maybe they're with a narcissistic personality or someone that's deeply controlling and controls your person on all levels, not just physically, although physical is indicated here, but certainly mentally and emotionally, they know how to push your person's buttons. Okay, let me see if there's anything else that will come through. And we have the King of Pentacles here. Now, your person may also feel trapped because maybe whatever role they're playing the role of provider and protector in whatever circumstance. Okay, whether they're the head of a company, and they don't care for this company anymore, it doesn't align with who they are. There's still people or employees that are depending on them, so they feel trapped in that role, whether as CEO, whatever it is. Others, it could be that they're head of a family, right? So they may not be happy there, but at the same time, there's a responsibility and obligation that they have taken on, they've accepted, and they take that role very seriously. When they think about you, they don't think about the responsibility, and maybe sometimes to your detriment, right? They think about freedom, but it feels like they don't feel the commitment and the responsibility and the obligation to you. So there's a flip side of that freedom also. We have here the Ace of Cups in reverse, and we see here the Page of Pentacles in reverse. You know, they have been stuck in a rut, and what they've been thinking is that they really fumbled this relationship, right? They thought that this was lost, right? And the thing that they miss most about you is the trust and your friendship, right? We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse here, right? That's what they miss the most, your friendship, right? Your friendship, that's what they miss the most. But something has happened recently that is making them more optimistic about idea of being with you. Spirit, what happened recently? What happened recently? We have the Hanged Man. So there's some sort of spark of inspiration that they got, right? So even here he's in bondage, right? So he was here in bondage, right? But there's some sort of spark of inspiration. Something ended, because if we look in the back of the card here, we see the sickle. And the sickle is something about ending something, something ending suddenly. Whether it's some sort of financial misfortune, some kind of mishap in the family, it could even be an accident, but something changed the way that they looked at life, and this is making them feel more optimistic about coming back your way. Some sort of injustice or karmic return, okay. I think it really knocked your person for six, but at the same time, it kind of reoriented their priority. Oh God, I can never say this word. Priorities. Listen, you know what I mean. Sometimes I can say it and sometimes I just can't, right? They just realigned their whole focus, and this is what's making them feel more optimistic, because they are looking at what's important in life, and what's important in life, you're coming up at the top of the list. Okay, now let's ask Spirit, What are their regrets? When it comes to you and this connection, what are their regrets? What do they regret? And what do they wish they had done differently? Okay. We have the gambler. Okay. And we have here willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. So right away, what we're getting, what they wish that they had not outsourced the intuition or outsourced anybody's advice with regard to your situation. They knew what they had to do from the get-go, and their intuition has always been leading them to you. But it looks like in the past, your person was the kind of person that needed to bounce ideas off of others, or they needed other people's buy-in. And when they did, it looks like the response was kind of anti you. And they may have listened to these people. So they regret not listening to their intuition. That's their first regret. They always knew, paths were leading to you. Okay, we have the lover in reverse. Let's see what this means. Obsessive passion that harms others. Self-destructive devotion. So what are their regrets? It looks like when you met this person, they were in some sort of addiction. And we already picked up that addiction energy right here, right? So it feels like it could be a substance. It could be some sort of habit that's been sabotaging them, or it could even be in a codependent relationship, right? And they really regret that they chose whatever that thing was in opposition to you. What else do they regret? So they wish that they had taken you more seriously, and that they had cut ties with whatever this thing is, or whatever this person is. Okay? This anti-lover. Okay. What do they regret? What's their regrets? We have the advocate inspires you to put compassion into action. They wish they had fought for this connection. They do. They wish they had not listened to others, and they wish that they had fought for this connection. But it feels like in the past, your person's main focus was, just getting the validation of others and being seen as the good girl, the good guy, the good them, right? Their focus was outward instead of the intuitive hits that they were getting inside about you and this connection, because it feels like they've always gotten signs, symbols, and signals that you were the one and the path, all roads were leading to you, but instead they chose to listen to others, and that this is where it's gotten them right now. They almost lost you for good. What do they regret? We have the bully. Highlights your tendency to intimidate others. Helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. You know what they wish? They wish that they were more healed and self-aware when they first met you, right? They regret that you came along at it's like right person, wrong time, right? They came along at a time when they weren't able to appreciate who you were, the essence of who you are, because they didn't even know the essence of who they were, right? I think they had a lot of fears of being ostracized or rejected by their group. So it was very important for them to belong. And it feels like in the past, part of them belonging to a particular group meant rejecting your connection. Okay? So they regret that. What else do they regret? We have divine masculine, TF, and soulmate. They regret not listening to you. I think for some of you guys, you may have approached your person with this idea of a higher level love or higher level soulmate or twin flame, and I think they either may have thought you were crazy, they maybe even laughed at you, and for some of them, they may have even used that information that you gave them to manipulate you, right? And get the upper hand in a situation. They regret doing that, and they wish that they had been the divine masculine or divine feminine energy that they were always meant to be. They wish they could have been that at that time. But my father always says that nothing happens before its time. Things happen when they should. And I think that spirit's message to you at this time, everything has to unfold in its own timing. Okay. Now let's ask Spirit. Right now, what are they feeling for you right now? In their heart space. What are they feeling for you? What are they feeling? And we get that freedom again, right? So when they think about you, you just represent freedom, freedom to be themselves, freedom to love, freedom to soar and just getting out of this caged mess that they're in. Love liberates, and that's what they feel when they connect with your energy. All right, what do they feel right now? They feel proud, proud to be connected to you, honor that you that you love them. They can't believe that someone like you really loves them. They can't believe that. What else do they feel? We have relieved. I think it ties in with that optimism card. Like they are so happy that they actually have a chance with you. They can come in and they can save the day, or they can, well, save this relationship, whatever it is. But they feel like, you know what, I have a chance now, right? And they didn't feel like that before. What else are they feeling for you? We have option one, right? So you are number one for them, right? They may have put you as second choice before, but right now, there's nobody else above you. How are they feeling? We have how I feel now, confronting people who hurt you. They feel like they need to come back around, they need to do some apologies, but there's people in their life that they feel like they need to confront, people from the past, and it looks like people from the present that they feel like they need to confront before they open this door with you. That's how they feel. All right. Now let's get some message from their 3D self, and then we're going to ask their higher self for messages for your highest good. Okay. So what does your person want to say right now? What do they want to say? The timing just wasn't right for us, and it's exactly what we picked up before, right? Right person, wrong timing, right? It just wasn't right before. You guys were two different people, and I think both of you guys weren't ready to show up for this connection the way that you guys needed to. And it says here, I left you before you could leave me. So we have an abandonment wound that was triggered by your meeting with this person, right? And they were like, you know what? Oh shit, this is so intense. I'm going to be devastated if this person leaves me, if this person abandons me, if this person, recognizes that I'm unworthy. So you know what? Fuck that. I'm out. I'm out. You're not gonna leave. I'm gonna leave first. Right? You didn't abandon me, I abandoned you. We will be together again. So this is their wish and their hope. They're certainly optimistic about it. They're glad to have been granted a second chance by the universe, and it feels like they're going to make the best of it. We both know that I am not the one for you. So what I do get, even though your person is heartened by the signs that they're getting that they will get a second chance with you, I think every now and then they get a lot of fears about not being good enough for you and this connection, right? For some of them, they think that they've already been replaced. Okay, so there's those fears that are circulating in their mind as well. And then, just to back up, I left you before you could leave me. I couldn't let you get close to me. So this is someone who's afraid of intimacy. And being afraid of intimacy means that you're afraid of being seen, right? You're afraid of being heard because you feel like if you're seen, if you're heard, if you're known, the person wouldn't love you anymore. So it's again that not feeling good enough energy that is coming out yet again for your person. Okay? All right. Now let's ask Spirit, what does their higher self, I'll use this there. What does your person's higher self want you to know at this time. This is the Enlightenment Pack by Chuck Spezzano. What does their higher self, so there's a message from their higher self, their most ascended self. What does their higher self want you to know right now? And we have peace, okay? This is how your person feels when they connect with your energy. They feel at peace, they feel nourished, they feel like they feel enlightened, they feel high vibe. What does the higher self want you to know, right? We have power struggle. So it feels like when you guys first connected, there was this power struggle going on. You wanted to do things your way, or you had a particular perception of this relationship, and they wanted to do things their way, and they had a particular perception of this relationship. Maybe there was something about, gender roles and all kinds of different things coming up. Maybe you guys had different philosophies about life, different philosophies about spirituality, religion, but there's something very different about you guys, and each of you thought that you guys were right, and you guys were so concentrated on being right that you guys weren't nurturing the relationship like you guys should, right? You're convinced that you know which direction this was supposed to head in. They were convinced of the same thing, and it looks like this relationship did not get off the ground. Okay, so we're getting the confirmation here that Spirit is offering this person a second chance with you. What road will they take? Will they take the shortcut that will lead them into another storm? Or will they take the more challenging road that leads to the light, that leads to enlightenment? Spirit saying right now, it's their choice. What else does their higher self want you to know? We have communication. And Spirit is saying that maybe this is what this relationship lacked in the past. Each person was trying to make the other person do what they wanted them to do, instead of both of you guys communicating your needs, communicating your feelings, and then coming to some sort of compromise or middle ground, which was possible, right? But each person was just, bent on doing things their way, right? And they certainly regret that energy, right? But Spirit saying it wasn't just them alone. You also thought that you were in the right. Um, and Spirit saying your person is finally seeing the truth about this, right? Finally seeing that their idea of relationships is something that they downloaded from observing their parents, their guardians. So they wanted to pull the relationship in that direction. And your idea of relationships comes in reaction to or from observing your guardians of your parent or your parents. And you want to take the relationship in that direction when you guys should have communicated and forged a version or an incarnation of the relationship that was uniquely you guys' own, right? That would have worked for both of you guys. But instead, both of you guys thought you were right. Let's do it this way. This is the right way, right? Both of you guys thought it was the right way. And instead, it feels like there was just so much strain that was put on the relationship that it kind of broke apart. Okay? All right. Let's see what Spirit's advice for you in this situation right now. Right? So everybody thought that they were in the right. Everybody wants to impose their programming on the other person, right? And your person is seeing that clearly now, and they really regret doing that. All right, what does Spirit want you to do? We have rising above, clarity, freedom, and solutions. So Spirit saying, if you model what this person is doing, because what they're doing is looking at this relationship from the hangman's perspective. If you model what they're doing right now, you too will also get some clarity about who you are and who you are in relationships. And once you see yourself as who you are in relationships, right, you are going to be able to come to a compromise or solution when it comes to this particular dynamic that's going on here. Otherwise, you guys will end up in the same position that you were in before, which each person trying to make the other person do things the right way, right? We have moonlight, travel, romance, and potential. So Spirit is saying the coming full moon is going to give you guys an opportunity to come together, right? It's going to be magical, right? But Spirit is saying, and there's a lot of potential to turn things around, but you have to approach the situation differently. You can't approach it with the same my way or the highway attitude that both of you guys were in before. Okay? All right, let's see. This is Moonlight card number 36. All right, so you have to approach it with a lot of self-awareness. Romance is in the air. You will soon travel to somewhere special. I think the next full moon is when? Is it next week? I think so. Anyway, romance is in the air. You will travel to somewhere special. A romantic evening leads you to discover a source of untapped and virtually unlimited potential. A simple yet inspirational idea comes to you and will have you look at life from a new perspective. Through this, you will create something new, something that will be of lasting value. Relax, unwind, and enjoy this time. The reflective light of the moon fills your heart with love and reveals a deep well of untapped creative possibility. And the affirmation here is I invite romance into my life. I look at things from a new perspective. My life is full of unlimited potential. Creative possibilities are all around me. Life is an endless source of inspiration. So, Spirit is saying, with the coming full moon, there's going to be an opportunity for you to ground something new, in this relationship. Or if you're looking for a new romance, completely Spirit saying the opportunity is there, but you have to approach it in a different way. You have to approach it with openness and with the energy of compromise, and not compromising yourself, but being able to find middle ground and to find solutions. Okay? All right, my love. So thank you for watching, and if you're able, please subscribe to the channel. Take care. Much love. Bye. Oh, um, the May calendar is open, so if you want a reading, it's open for that. Take care. Bye.